An honest explanation of the Anglophone crisis in Cameroon. Hello explorers, welcome back to another informative video and thanks for watching. In this video we shall be taking a deep dive into the Anglophone crisis in Cameroon, and we shall be examining the causes and consequences of the crisis both in Cameroon and Africa. But before we continue, Cameroon is a country in Central Africa with a population of about 26 million people. The country is the lone bilingual country in the sub-region with English and French as its official languages. Its second and current president, Paul Biya, is the second longest-serving president in Africa. He took office in 1982 and for 38 years he has been at the helm of the country. For close to 4 years now, the country has been politically, economically and socially unstable due to an ongoing crisis between the English-speaking region of the country and the government. Though this crisis climax was in 2016, its causes go back way memory lane. So to better understand what caused this crisis, let's start from the very beginning. In 1472, the first Portuguese explorer, called Fernando Po, stepped foot on the land today known as Cameroon. He realized the river Wouri had lots of shrimp, so he called the area Rio dos Cameros, meaning river of prawns. Until 1884, when Germany colonized the area, Cameroon was one of the countries that was greatly impacted by the slave trade. So when the slave trade was abolished and freed slaves started returning to Africa, Alfred Secker, a Baptist missionary from Britain, named the area where the freed slaves were settling in as Victoria, today known as Limbe, in honor of the Queen of England at that time. When the Germans took over, they changed the name of the area from Rio dos Cameros to Cameroon. They instilled their way of life on the people, and for 31 years Cameroon was under German rule. When the First World War broke out in July 1914, France and Britain, who were allies, combined forces and defeated Germany. After the defeat, all former German colonies became the United Nations mandated territories. In 1919, the United Nations partitioned Cameroon between Britain and France as trusteeship territories. France was given 80% of the territory while Britain received 20%. Now the reason Britain received a smaller portion was because Britain already had control over a lot of territories, coupled with the fact that they had already started invading the Cameroon from the southwest and northwest since it was closer to Nigeria, which already belonged to them. After France and Britain took total control over these territories, they changed the name of the country from Cameroon to Cameroon, with both having different spellings. Both territories became French Cameroon and British Cameroon. France and Britain implemented their way of life and governance to their respective territories. France implemented the policy of assimilation, where they forced the locals to change everything about themselves and embrace the French culture and way of life. The locals were to speak like the French, eat like the French, and even dress like the French. Britain, on the other hand, due to its policy of divide and rule, further partitioned its own portion of Cameroon into two and named it British Northern Cameroon, which was administered as part of the Northern Nigeria, and British Southern Cameroon, which was administered as part of Eastern Nigeria. Together, both territories were administered by the British central government in Lagos. The people of British Northern Cameroon were treated fairly and had a good relationship with Northern Nigeria, while the people of British Southern Cameroon felt slighted. They were discriminated upon and treated unfairly. In 1953, the Southern Cameroon's representatives in the Eastern Nigerian legislature demanded from Britain a regional status for the Southern Cameroon with a seat of government in Buea. In 1953, three activists from Southern Cameroon by name Dr. Emmanuel Ndele Mbela, John Gu Foncha, and Solomon Tande Muna left the National Council for Nigeria and the Cameroons (NCNC), established by the British, and formed a party called Cameroon National Congress (KNC), with the sole aim of fighting for an independent Southern Cameroon. After hard struggle from the Cameroon National Congress, Britain finally accepted a legislature in Southern Cameroon. The Order in Council of 1954 established in Buea a legislative house known as the House of Assembly of the Southern Cameroons and an executive council. During this time, Southern Cameroons gained limited autonomy as a quasi-region within the Nigerian Federation. The first sitting of the newly created House of Assembly of the Southern Cameroons met on 26 October 1954. Dr. Emmanuel Mbela Lifafa Ndeli emerged as leader of the Southern Cameroons. His official title was Leader of Government Business, the reason being that the Southern Cameroon was a quasi-region and therefore only semi-autonomous. In 1955, Ndeli's political views changed and he advocated for greater integration of Southern Cameroon with Nigeria, which made Njongu Foncha and Solomon Muna to leave the party and create an opposition party called the Cameroon National Democratic Party (KNDP). In 1957, United Nations Resolutions 1064 of 26 February 1957 and 1207 of December 13, 1957 called on the administering authorities to hasten arrangements for trust territories to attain self-governance or independence. After the resolution by the United Nations, Southern Cameroon attained the status of a full region and became autonomous and fully self-governing, and the House of Chiefs was also created. This meant an election was to be conducted to vote in the new Prime Minister. The election was mainly between John Foncha's KNDP and Dr. Endele's KNC. Dr. Endele won the elections and became the first Prime Minister of Southern Cameroon. Few months later, Dr. Endele was replaced by John Foncha, whose ideologies of functioning independently from Nigeria was highly accepted by the people of Southern Cameroon. Foncha became the second Prime Minister, the 1st of February 1959. 1 month after Foncha became Prime Minister, the United Nations decided to put an end to all trusteeships by 1960. French Cameroon was the second